Most people spend their lives defending themselves, explaining their intentions, clarifying their choices, justifying their boundaries. They speak as if their peace depends on whether others approve of them. And slowly, without realizing it, they surrender something precious, something invisible yet powerful, authority over their own mind. We live in a world that demands constant explanation. Every decision is questioned, every silence is interpreted, every boundary is treated as a crime that must be defended in court. But those who truly master themselves learn a quiet truth. The need to constantly explain yourself is often a symptom of inner insecurity. When a person knows who they are, their actions become their explanation. Their discipline becomes their statement. Their silence becomes their strength. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That single sentence dismantles the endless cycle of justification most people fall into. The more we argue about our character, the less we embody it. We are not here to persuade the crowd. We are here to govern ourselves. The moment we stop explaining ourselves to everyone is the moment we begin reclaiming our power. And that transformation begins with understanding a few quiet disciplines, habits of thought that restore sovereignty over our inner world. 1. Stop seeking permission to be who you are. Most people explain themselves because they are secretly asking for permission. Permission to think differently. Permission to walk away. Permission to pursue a path others don't understand. But permission is a dangerous currency. The more we seek it, the more we place our identity in the hands of people who are not responsible for our lives. There is a subtle fear underneath the need to explain ourselves, the fear of being misunderstood. We want people to see our intentions clearly, so we talk, and talk, and talk. We construct long explanations in the hope that if others understand us, they will accept us. But acceptance from others has never been the foundation of inner strength. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Those words strike directly at the heart of the problem. Growth often requires us to tolerate misunderstanding. We must learn to act without waiting for approval. When we wake up each morning, we remind ourselves that our duty is not to manage the opinions of others. Our duty is to govern our own character. The world may misunderstand our silence, misinterpret our decisions, or criticize our boundaries. But none of these things can damage us unless we surrender our self-command. The day we stop seeking permission is the day our spine straightens. Our voice becomes calmer, our actions become clearer. And strangely, the less we explain ourselves, the more seriously people begin to take us. 2. Let your actions speak louder than your defense words are cheap. Actions are undeniable. The person who constantly explains themselves often does so because they feel their actions are not enough. They try to supplement reality with arguments. But there is a deeper wisdom that teaches the opposite approach. Seneca once wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." The same principle applies to explanation. When challenged, criticized, or misunderstood, our instinct is to defend ourselves immediately. We rush to correct the narrative. But the disciplined mind pauses. Instead of defending ourselves in every conversation, we allow time to reveal the truth of our character. Over weeks, months, and years, our actions quietly speak on our behalf. A person who trains their body consistently does not need to explain their discipline. The results eventually appear. A person who maintains integrity does not need to argue about their character. Time exposes the truth. This requires patience, and patience requires strength. In a world addicted to immediate responses, silence becomes a powerful strategy. We stop trying to win arguments in the moment and start focusing on living in such a way that arguments become unnecessary. Over time, people notice something different about us. We speak less, but our presence carries more weight. Not because we are louder, but because our actions have replaced our explanations. 3. Accept that misunderstanding is part of the path. One of the most painful truths we must accept is this: not everyone will understand us. No matter how carefully we explain our intentions, some people will still misinterpret them. Some will twist them. Some will project their own fears onto our actions. This realization can either make us bitter or make us free. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that people act according to what they believe is right. Even when they criticize us unfairly, they are usually responding to their own perceptions, not to our true character. Once we understand this, something shifts inside us. We stop exhausting ourselves trying to control how others interpret our lives. Misunderstanding becomes a normal part of the journey. When we pursue discipline, some people will call us rigid. When we enforce boundaries, some will call us cold. When we pursue our goals relentlessly, others will accuse us of arrogance. These judgments are not obstacles to our path. They are shadows cast by it. The disciplined individual accepts this reality early. They stop trying to make everyone comfortable with their growth, because growth is rarely comfortable to watch. 4. Protect your energy from endless debate. Every explanation costs energy. Every argument drains attention. Every attempt to justify ourselves pulls our focus away from something far more important: the work of shaping our character. Epictetus taught that we must carefully guard what enters our mind, but we must also guard what we give our energy to. When we engage in endless debates about our choices, we are essentially allowing others to rent space in our mental world, and that space should be reserved for something higher. Each morning, the disciplined person wakes up with a clear understanding of their priorities. Their purpose is not to win arguments on social media, not to defend every life decision to critics, and not to correct every misunderstanding. Their purpose is to live well, to cultivate courage, to strengthen discipline, to remain calm when others are chaotic. The more we engage in pointless explanations, the more fragmented our attention becomes. But when we step away from unnecessary debates, something powerful happens. Our mind becomes quiet again, and from that quiet place, clarity returns. 5. Silence is a form of strength. Many people mistake silence for weakness. They believe that if someone does not defend themselves loudly, it must mean they are unsure of themselves. But true silence does not come from insecurity. It comes from certainty. The person who knows their path does not feel the need to constantly narrate it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In other words, when confronted with criticism, gossip, or hostility, our response should not be to descend into the same chaos. Our response should be composure. Silence can be a shield that protects our inner world from unnecessary conflict. It allows us to remain grounded while others react emotionally. When we stop explaining ourselves to everyone, we create space between our mind and the noise of the world. And in that space, something powerful grows. Self-command. People may not immediately understand our silence. Some may interpret it as arrogance. Others may think we are hiding something. But those who truly observe will notice something else entirely: a calm presence that cannot be easily provoked. 6. Build a life that requires no defense. Ultimately, the goal is not simply to stop explaining ourselves. The goal is to build a life so aligned with virtue that explanation becomes unnecessary. This does not happen overnight. It requires daily discipline. It requires reflection. It requires a willingness to examine our own faults with brutal honesty. Seneca warned that the greatest obstacle to wisdom is self-deception. If we want to live without constant explanation, we must first ensure our actions are worthy of silence. That means living with integrity when nobody is watching. It means aligning our words with our actions. It means correcting ourselves before criticizing others. It means waking up each day with the intention to become slightly stronger, slightly wiser, and slightly calmer than we were yesterday. Over time, something remarkable happens. Our life begins to speak for us. People may still question us. They may still misunderstand us. But our stability becomes undeniable. And in the end, that is the true secret to protecting our power. We stop explaining ourselves not because we have something to hide, but because we have finally learned to stand firmly in who we are.